tonight's review, or if it is morning where you are, or afternoon, you are most welcome. Please sit back, relax, because we have a new book that we're going to be reviewing starting from today. Ta-da! Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. Good evening, good evening. So you are most welcome. We're going to be reviewing this book today and over the next 2 weeks or so. All right, this is another fantastic book that I encourage you to read. Failing Forward. How do you fail forward? Okay, so today we're going to be reading praises and people's testimonies about this awesome book. We're also going to be looking at the preface to the book so that you have a good understanding of what you stand to get from this book, the wonderful lessons from this book. All right, so what are people saying about this book, Failing Forward? I'm going to read some of the praises to you. David W. Anderson says, failure is the hallmark of success. Without failure, there would be no great successes. John Maxwell reveals the secret for turning everyday failures into the stepping stones of achievement. With this book, you will never fear failure again. And this is where the title that you see on the thumbnail came from. With this book, you will never fear failure again. That is from David W. Anderson. And Baylor says, all of us have experienced professional or personal failures in our lives. This book will encourage you to look at your failures as stepping stones rather than stop signs. It will help you face your failures with faith and steer you away from dwelling on the facts that you caused your failure. Dave Dravicki says, John Maxwell has once again written an incredible book, Failing Forward, to help us understand ourselves. Unfortunately, he paints all too clear a picture of how all too often we view failure in the wrong way. Through this book, John encourages us to embrace failure and see the value of it in our lives instead of avoiding it. Through incredible stories and wonderful insights, John helps us to see the importance of failure as we proceed on the journey of life. Thanks for helping me see that no matter how difficult life is, the key to overcoming doesn't lie in changing your circumstances. It is in changing yourself. With all the struggles I've faced in battling cancer and losing a career as a Major League Baseball pitcher, thanks for helping me realize the value of failing forward. This is once again from Dave Dravicki. Greg Hunt says, one of the greatest attributes of Dr. John Maxwell's books is that they challenge you to grow as a person and reach your maximum potential. Failing Forward will inspire you to overcome whatever obstacles you are facing personally and professionally. After reading this book, you will be highly motivated to encourage others and add value to their lives. David Jeremiah says, once again, John Maxwell has hit a home run. Everything about this book resonates with me because every defining moment in my life has come as the result of adversity or failure. God has used what I thought were setbacks to push me forward in his plan for my life. John Maxwell is absolutely right. Failure is a price we pay for success. Barbara Johnson says, in his warm and friendly style, John Maxwell teaches us that our failures and adversities can and should be used to help us fail forward. This should become your handbook on how to make the most of your mistakes. Jack Kinder Jr. says, Failing Forward offers 15 practical steps to help you become the high achiever you were meant to be. I highly endorse these principles and procedures. Peter Lowe says, John Maxwell is a leader's leader who knows what it takes to succeed. The fact that he has devoted an entire book to the topic of failure is a testimony to how vital failing forward is to both success and leadership. Dan Reeves says, I highly recommend Dr. John C. Maxwell's new book, Failing Forward, to anyone regardless of their occupation. We all experience some form of failure, and Dr. Maxwell shows us how to deal with failure. He also gives some real-life experiences of successful people to demonstrate how they handled situations by failing forward. Great reading for anyone. Gary Smalley says, I have long been a believer in the value of treasure hunting trials. In Failing Forward, John Maxwell offers great insights on how to learn and grow from past failures. Pat Williams says, John Maxwell has written another classic on dealing with important life issues. Failing Forward is the best book yet, and that is saying a lot. The last but not the least, Zig Ziglar says, really successful people fail many times. John Maxwell's Failing Forward makes you realize what a regular part of life failure is. He convinces you that you can overcome it, and in the process teaches you how. So these, are the words that people have to say about this wonderful book, Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell, right? I want to believe that by the time we are also done reading this book and reviewing it, we'll have our own testimony, we'll have our own praises of this book, okay? So the next thing that we're going to do is to read the preface to this book, and then we'll come back tomorrow, by God's grace, to start properly from chapter 1. So let's read the preface to the book. Let us talk about it. Let us review it. And then tomorrow, we're going to start with chapter 1. So the preface is titled, Becoming a Real Success. So make up your mind that even before you're done reading and reviewing this book, you're going to become a real success. You know that there are different levels to success, yeah? Success is relative. Success is relative. Only you can define your own definition of success. Nobody can define it to you. I cannot use my yardstick of success to tell you how you should succeed, right? I can't do that. But then, if you are truly, truly successful, you don't have to tell anybody, oh, I am successful, or I have one car, I have a master's degree, I feed 5 people in a day. I think you don't have to say it. People can tell, they can see it that, oh, yeah, you're doing well, right? Even before you having to explain anything. So the moment you start explaining your success, it means that that level of success is not visible to the world alone. It doesn't have to be so fantastic. There are so many people who live in the village who are doing awesome things in their own little capacity. They are feeding the vulnerable. They are helping the poor. And the world is celebrating them as heroes, right? Because they are doing something great. That an ordinary person would not want to do. So to this kind of person, he may be successful. He sees himself to be successful. Somebody may have 10 cars, have a PhD, have money and all of that, and still not feel successful. People may still not regard this person as successful. All right, so becoming a real success. John Maxwell says, as I speak around the country, people often ask me why I write books. I've been asked that question so many times that I want to give you the answer before you begin reading the first chapter of Failing Forward. I have dedicated my life to adding value to people. It is the reason I teach conferences, record lessons on cassettes, create training videos, and write books. It's the reason I lead my organization, the Enjoy Group. I want to see people achieve. I want to see each person I meet become a real success. I believe that to succeed, a person needs only 4 things. You can remember them by thinking of the word real. R-E-A-L. This is the acronym for these 4 things that anybody needs to succeed in life. So R stands for relationships. The greatest skill needed for success is the ability to get along with other people. It impacts every aspect of a person's life. Your relationships make you or they break you. If you cannot get along with other people, it's maybe difficult to become successful because you can't do it alone, right? You cannot do it alone. You need to be able to bring people to join you in achieving your dream. You need to be able to form a team. You must get along well with people. And we're not talking of success here alone in terms of having money, having degrees, and all of that. To me, success is all encompassing. It also has to do with your well being, the state of your mind, your mental health, and all of that. If you have all the money, but you're not mentally stable, you're not emotionally balanced, you don't form meaningful relationships, to me, that is not, good success. So even in your marriage, even when it comes to friendship, how you treat people, the kind of people you have in your circle, it all boils down to relationships, right? So for you to become a real success, you must know how to manage relationships. Knowing how to manage relationships means that you know how to manage people. The number two thing is equipping. And this is the E in real, equipping. One of the most significant lessons I've learned is that those closest to you determine the level of your success. If your dreams are great, you achieve them only with a team. Yes, more like what we said earlier. You can't do it alone. So you have to be equipped with a team if you really want great success. Tell me how somebody can do a lot of things in this world alone, right? You need other people. Then the A in the real starts for attitude. People's attitudes determine how they approach life day to day. Your attitude, more than your aptitude, will determine your altitude. In other words, your attitude determines how far you will go in life. I once made a video where I talked about different types of intelligence: emotional intelligence, financial intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and so on, right? And one of the greatest, if not the greatest, of all of this is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence says a lot about so many things: your attitude, your relationship with people, how you deal with situations, how sensitive you are, how wise you are, how you manage people, and all of that, right? So all of this boil down to your attitude. What is your attitude when it comes to different aspects of life? You must have a positive attitude, a positive outlook to life, a positive rapport with people for you to go far in life. What is the last letter there? L. It stands for leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. If you desire to lift the lead on your personal effectiveness, the only way to do it is to increase your leadership skills. If you pick up any one of my books, you can be sure that it seeks to add value in one of these four areas. What are these four areas again? Relationships, equipping, attitude, and leadership. I've written this particular book to change your attitude about failure. So you're going to learn that failure is not a bad thing after all. If you want to succeed, don't avoid failure. Rather, know how to manage failure, know how to deal with failure, because no matter how much you try to avoid it, failure will always be a part of life. So why try to avoid something that is automatically a part of life? Why try to live in denial? And this failure can come in different ways. Your health may fail, your money, your financial status may fail, your memory may fail you, your business and things like that. Relationships may fail, marriages, and so on. So how do you deal with this part of life that seems inevitable? Read this book. absorb it, and allow it to help you turn your mistakes into stepping stones for success. My desire is that failing forward will add value to your life. So, this is the preface to the book, Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell, right? And this is all we're going to be covering tonight. Starting from tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. West African time, we're going to begin to review this book from chapter 1. And chapter 1 is titled, What is the main difference between people who achieve and people who are average? What is the main difference? All right. If you don't have this book, kindly get a copy. It is going to bless you in ways that you least imagine. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share your comments, please subscribe to this channel. In case you're yet to subscribe, I remain Olaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady. And on this channel, I inspire you to live intentionally. I'll come your way again by God's grace. As a matter of fact, I'll come your way tomorrow. Until then, be intentional. Bye.